So I finally decided to finish the run of Sekiro, and if you'll notice, you can see the remnants there. I actually picked up on PS5. I ended the run a long time ago after dying to Al twice. Yes, on PS4. And I didn't go back to it. I just had a lot of stuff going on. Work was insane. I was supposed to go to Japan for a little while, and then the Rona killed that, so I'm having to postpone staying there for a month or so. So this is a return to Sekiro on PS5. Getting the PS5 and playing it on that, I got my love back for it a little bit. I mean, I've always loved it, but I guess maybe I got a little burnt out. So I'm picking it up on PS5. Yay. And really, I can't tell too much of a difference between PS4 and PS5 with Sekiro. It feels like the same game. I mean, Bloodborne might have felt a little smoother, but most part feels the same. So my plan was to pick up from Al, run the game, do all bosses, and call it quits. And I did that up until I ended the game and realized that I did not do Hirata, the second Hirata. So I actually didn't do Owl Father in this run. I completely forgot. So I ran it again and got to Owl Father, and I'm going to tack that on at the very end as sort of like an epilogue of sorts, just to say, oh yeah, and here. I'm not going to do the whole run through Hirata because if I'm being honest, it's my least favorite part of Sekiro. I hate the whole second Hirata area. I don't like it. I really don't. It's my least favorite part of this whole fucking game. So I'm not even going to bother putting that in there. But I think I am going to tack on Father at the end. Yeah. So here, after you talk to Kuro a whole bunch of times, my plan is I go over here and I eavesdrop. I do all of this dialogue because my plan was to fight Al and do that ending after you fight Divine Dragon, and then you get the cannot remember what you get from Al after beating him, but that was my plan. Completely fucked it up. Oopsie daisy. But if you're curious on how to do it, you eavesdrop right there with Kuro and Emma, rest here, talk to Emma, exhaust her dialogue, which I think I actually do twice, and then rest again. She will give you Tomoe's note. Yeah. Rest again. Go to the old grave. She'll tell you to go back to the dilapidated temple. You go there, you eavesdrop. She'll give you the second bell. There you go. And I think what I do here, is I go back and run. I think I go run Hirata after this. I believe. I can't remember. It fucking matters. Anyway, I'm incredibly surprised by the amount of people that are still coming to these games after all these years. Anytime, like the PS5 dropped, and like Bloodborne was, I believe it was free as a greatest hits, and the amount of new people coming to Bloodborne was impressive. And there are still new people all the time coming to Sekiro, and I find it amazing. I really like it. Right here, you will see my fine skills on display. I wish at some point I would like to upload a run. Look at this. God. Just masterful. Just perfect. Flawless. At some point I would like to upload a run that is as close to perfect as I can get it. I had done one no-hit of Bloodborne. I never recorded it or anything like that, so you're free to say it's horseshit. But most runs are very much like this, or the Bloodborne run that I put up, where I die here or there, I make stupid decisions, and it's not perfect or anything like that. This is about how my runs tend to go, for the most part, unless I really throw on the try-hard boots. I've had some really, really good runs of Sekiro, and really, really good runs of Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, but they're so few and far between, really. And I don't know that they're a fair representation of the average of my runs, if that makes sense. And I don't know that they're easily replicated. Whereas I think this kind of shit, I don't know, I think most people can do this, really, so long as, you put them into the game. I don't see any problem with people being able to do shit here. I think doing those runs where you don't get hit or you don't take damage, or probably the easiest run in Sekiro is like a no death sure run. But even that, would be frustrating to somebody who's not at least mildly obsessed with this shit. So, I don't know. So I don't sweat these kinds of stupid mistakes, and I don't think you should either. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and do Hirata here. Yeah. Now, there's a whole lot to do in Hirata. The pot noble is over there to the right. He sells like a third of the divine mask fragment, which I'm going to talk about that in a second. He also sells a passage, and oh shit, something else that seems important, but I can't remember what it is. I know that if you spend enough carp skills with him, then you get the was it the truly precious bait that you need to kill the giant carp, and then you get the trophy. Also, I think here I fuck completely up. Yep. They can't all be perfect, and this is as far from perfect as you get. God damn. So that you get the axe prosthetic, the flame vent prosthetic, and I think the Mist Raven. Am I right? I think it's the Mist Raven. Yeah, I think. Anyway, there's a lot in Hirata that I don't do. Similar to my run of Bloodborne, this is not a show everything, do everything kind of run. I don't. It's easily Googleable. If you're really trying to go after 100% or something like that, I like to just play how I like to play. Really. Anyway, so I said that I would talk a bit about the divine mask. Okay, when I first played this game, it was about as blind as you can get. I mean, I got it at launch. I didn't really know anything. I don't like to read anything when I'm playing these games for the first time. I just like to sort of, discover things as I go. And I got the divine mask fragment. And if you don't know what it is, which I'm sure you do because this game is not a fucking baby anymore, you dump skill points into it for a point of attack power. At the time when I first got this game, that seemed amazing. Wow. You get attack power from defeating bosses, or you can get attack power from spending a couple of skill points, and then you grind a minute, and then you go to the next boss, and you'll be a fucking monster. Unfortunately, that's not the way this shit works. I don't want to say it's similar to Bloodborne, necessarily. But what I will say is this. Attack power in this game doesn't mean as much as you think it does. Having a high attack power doesn't mean shit if you don't know how to deflect. It means nothing. So it's a waste of skill points, especially if you're trying to get the platinum and you're trying to get every skill that the game offers. If you start spending skill points on attack power, you might regret it because of how much grinding you have to do later. And it's so not worth. And it's not worth your time to do all of that. And this fight right here is just beautiful. I fuck up the easiest stuff. Anyway, attack power is nowhere near as important as it seems. I mean, I understand, like similarly, I guess what happened with me is I thought, oh, attack power, that means my attacks will be more powerful. Not really. Not, I would say maybe until a certain cap, and I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but barely even marginally. It doesn't fucking matter. And I say it's kind of similar to Bloodborne because I think people get tripped up on blood level in Bloodborne and like raising stats. And really, all you need to worry about is your weapon level. Well, if you're absolutely new to the game, I understand wanting to have more vigor or more attack power, so like more strength or more skill. Don't ever level endurance in Bloodborne, ever. It's a complete waste of echoes, and you don't need it. So I got all 3 of the Divine Mass fragments, and I dumped a couple of points into it, and I can't remember how many. It was 1 or 2, but I quickly realized that it meant nothing. And the only thing that really matters in Sekiro is your deflection. Really, that's it. So my advice, if it's your first time coming to Hirata and you're discovering the Pot Noble, and you read about the Divine Mask Fragment and you think, ooh, I'm going to get that and I'm going to OP myself and turn myself into a badass and just obliterate the game and fist fuck everything that comes, it's not going to happen. In fact, I would say it might work the opposite. If you have the mindset that raising your attack power is going to make you better, then you've already put yourself in a position to not get better at the game. And this, I think, is how Sekiro really stands apart from Dark Souls. And I'm not breaking any ground here by saying this, is that Dark Souls, especially Dark Souls 2, has, a pretty nice build variety, and you can play the game with those varieties. So you could do a pyro run, you could do tank run, whatever. But you can't do that here. It's all about how you deflect. That's how the game wants to be played, and that's how you have to play it. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But if you're trying to tank yourself and make yourself too OP, it's just not going to work. You're still going to, the game is still going to fist you. So I would say don't even fucking worry about the mask fragments, and don't worry about the mask. Just focus on how well you deflect, and that's how you'll get gooder. That's how you'll get better at the game, not by increasing your attack power at all. And if you want to, I mean, you can Google the numbers, like the soft caps, the hard caps, and all this. But, I mean, you can just do this yourself. Like, you can go through New Game, right? And only use the attack power that you get from bosses. Don't use any of them. Don't raise your attack power at all. Only use, like, I think it's, the beads that raise your, that increase your posture and all that. Just worry about that. Don't even worry about attack power. And then go into New Game Plus and see if you really tell the difference. I don't know that I did so much, to be honest with you. But anyway, this little guy here, you don't have to use him if you don't want to. And more of my amazing skills on display right here. I'm trying to take down this shield guy. You can firecracker these guys and it leaves them vulnerable, or you can use your axe and get rid of their shield. Right here, apparently I'm just taking the hard way and just wanted to show off how bad I suck. So the second time that you run Hirata, you will have another... I can't remember his name. Just another one of these dudes, along with a vile hand, and there are more enemies scattered about. And I usually like to use Puppeteer and just turn it into a brawl. But I fucking hate that they threw in the vile hand and they put him next to this mini boss, because their aggro ranges are the same. So I have yet to figure out a very effective way to separate them and move one from the other in a way that lets me fight each one legit rather than having to fight them simultaneously. And it's just a huge pain in the dick trying to fight them both at the same time. I don't like it. I don't think it's fun. I don't find it enjoyable, or really I don't find it like challenging in a fair way. I just kind of think it's bullshit. So I don't like it. I really don't like it at all. And I've had really smooth runs of it, you know, where I've gone through without using any, without doing any gourd uses or anything like that. I mean, I've had good runs. It's just not fun, you know. All right, so here we're gonna do Lady Butterfly, and Lady Butterfly. I remember when this game came out. Lady Butterfly was like the boss that people fucking hated. I remember people getting so tripped up on Lady Butterfly, and she was one of the bosses that I actually didn't get too tripped up on. But I felt like if you came too early to Hirata, maybe it made sense that she was tripping people up, I guess. I certainly didn't have a series of smooth fights against her, and I died a bunch to her. But I never found her frustrating or anything like that. She seemed fairly easy to learn, but maybe not easy enough to get into the rhythm of fighting, if that makes sense. But her first phase is, you know, deflect her leg and her little flurries. And when she gets to the wire, you can shuriken her to knock her off. And as far as, I mean, unless something changes, her only perilous is a pounce. So, and I believe right here she actually doesn't summon any of the my god, the spirits, you know, the illusions. I think I stay on her hard enough so that she doesn't do that. But, you know, use a snap seed, and even if you don't use snap seeds, they disappear after a minute, and she just turns them into like those, into the magic attack. The magic attack that she does. So just deflect the flurries, pounce on her head, stay aggressive. I mean, it's kind of the same rhythm as a lot of other fights. You'll do 2 to 3 hits, and then listen for the audio cue, and then it's her turn to attack, and then you deflect, and then bang, bang, bang. So, Lady Butterfly, not too terrible. I feel like she's, I think I've said this before, but I feel like she's an amazing tutorial boss in Sekiro. In a way, I mean, in a way, as a tutorial boss, I feel like she's a great lesson on how to deal with the other, I guess, quote unquote, like shinobi bosses or human bosses of sorts. I mean, Genichiro is the one that ultimately teaches you how to play the game, but I feel like Lady Butterfly is a good lesson for how to maybe deal with Genichiro. Does that make sense? I know that's the way I took it. I like this cutscene, so I left it in. Normally I skip them, but I think next I go do Headless Ape. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it. I was going to leave it out because I don't like that fight. Not because I don't think it's pretty or bullshit or anything like that. I think it's a solid fight. I mean, the mechanics are there. I like the lore-ish of it. I just don't think it's very fun. You know, maybe it's because I've played like 700, 800, 900 hours of this goddamn game. I mean, the fact that I put that much time into it, and really I only have 2 things that I don't find really fun, which is this fight and the area leading up to Hirata Owl. I mean, it speaks to the beautiful game design, right? This was an area that I used to hate, actually, when I first played the game, because I could not figure out how to navigate it either before or after it gets destroyed. If you come here very early, you know, it's a different kind of area. The one thing they both have in common is dealing with snake eyes. And these days, I don't have a problem with the snake eyes bosses. They're pretty easy. But when I first played this game, easily the hardest mini boss. And I, god damn it, the amount of times I raged over fucking snake eyes at Gunfort, god fucking Christ. So the Headless Ape here is the same as the Headless Ape. You know, the first time you fight him, deflect, deflect, use the spear, deflect. And then when the other one drops in, I like to do firecrackers and mortal draws. And just keep your eye on Headless Ape. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And you can actually, if you feel like learning this, you can kill the Headless Ape before the other one drops in, I believe. He will... So you'll death blow him, and then he goes over to Scream to call her in. And I believe you can knock him out of that, and then just fight him, and then kill him. Because if you kill the Headless Ape before you kill the brown ape, the fight's over. So you don't have to kill them both. You only have to kill the Headless Ape. So, I don't know. I like to kill the brown one anyway, because fuck it. So this is the one fight, I think, where the, oh shit, what's it called? The ceremonial Tonto might come in handy, because if you find that you're using, if you use up all of your spirit emblems trying to take care of the brown ape, like the firecrackers, then you may not have enough for the spear for Headless Ape. And the ceremonial Tonto, I think, will give you 5. You just have to heal afterwards, you know. But, I mean, I don't use it all the time. But I think that's the only place in the game where I've found it possibly, maybe, sort of, kind of viable. Or, I hesitate to say necessary, because I don't think I don't know, I might use it here. Maybe I don't. Anyway, it's not necessary, because you don't have to use the spear on this, on the Headless Ape anyway, if you don't want to. It just makes it faster. You can just beat the shit out of him normally, like this, and not use the spear. Gives a shit. Maybe I do use it, actually. I do. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it gives you 5 extra. So it's a lot like the Quicksilver bullets in Bloodborne. You give up a little bit of life to get a little bit of, well, I guess the equivalent would be like some sort of magic. Anyway, but that's the run now. And next, after all this, unless I'm wrong, I'm trying to think of what comes next. What do we got left? We got Sword Saint, we got Demon of Hatred. Yeah. But we'll finish out Sekiro and move on to the next one, which I have no idea what it will be. But I know Resident Evil 8 is coming out soon, and I've been doing multiple runs of Resident Evil 7, 2, and 3. So, we'll see. We shall see.